How did Bob Marley end up performing one of the biggest concerts of his life just 2 days after someone tried to kill him? The answer begins on a quiet Friday evening, December 3rd, 1976. Kingston, Jamaica didn't feel peaceful. For months, political violence had been escalating across Jamaica. Supporters of the country's two major political parties mostly separated themselves into two different communities. There were a lot of shootings, retaliation, fear. For many Jamaicans, it had become a part of everyday life. Right in the middle of all of this was Bob Marley. By 1976, he wasn't just Jamaica's biggest musician. He had become an international symbol of peace and unity. People listened when he spoke. He wasn't a politician, and yet they listened to him because they trusted him. Just days before a national election, the Jamaican government announced a free concert called Smile Jamaica. Their purpose was simple: bring people together. This resonated with Bob, so he agreed to perform. For one group of people, that was exactly what Jamaica needed. For the other group, however, it looked political. Even though Bob Marley publicly insisted he supported neither side. Whether that perception was fair or not, it placed him in a dangerous position. The concert was scheduled for Sunday. Today was Friday, 2 days before the show. As evening settled over Kingston, Bob's house at 56 Hope Road was full of activity. Musicians were carrying guitars, friends stopped by, conversations throughout the entire house. People moved from room to room. They were preparing for the concert happening on the weekend. Music is playing, people are laughing, some people are making coffee. Outside, cars are normally passing along Hope Road. Then, one vehicle slows down. It pulls up near the house. Several men get out. At first, no one inside notices. Visitors come to Hope Road all the time. One man walks towards the entrance. Another one follows close behind. The evening still feels normal. Then the first shot is fired. Everything changes instantly. People dive towards the floor. Some run for cover. Others freeze. The sound of automatic gunfire echoes throughout the house. No one knows how many gunmen there are. No one knows exactly where they're aiming next. A gunman fires at Rita Marley, Bob Marley's wife, and a bullet grazes her head. Somehow, she survives. Inside another room, Bob's manager, Don Taylor, is struck several times. His injuries are devastating. For a time, many people believe he wouldn't even survive. Then Bob Marley is hit. One bullet tears through his upper arm before lodging in his chest. The attack lasts only seconds. Then, as quickly as it began, the gunfire stops. The place becomes silent. No one inside knows if the gunmen are coming back. People begin checking one another for injuries. Someone calls for help. Police rush to Hope Road. Officers secure the property. Detectives photograph the scene and shell cases are collected. Witnesses begin giving statements. There is one immediate problem. Everything happened so quickly. Some witnesses remember different details. Others only heard the shots. Investigators now face a much bigger question. Who would try to assassinate Bob Marley? Almost immediately, rumors begin spreading across Jamaica. Some people blame political extremists. Others point towards criminal gangs with political connections. Years later, additional theories would emerge, involving outside interests during the Cold War. As doctors examined Bob Marley's injuries, everyone assumed the concert was over. Friends urged him not to perform. Security concerns were obvious. Whoever had attacked him still was out there. No one knew if they would try again. But Bob still wanted to do the concert. 2 days later, he arrived backstage at Heroes Park. More than 80,000 people waited outside. Security officers were scanning the crowd. No one knew if another attack might happen. Then Bob Marley walked toward the stage, still carrying fresh gunshot wounds. The crowd erupted. For roughly 90 minutes, he performed. Most people watching had no idea what he had just survived just 48 hours earlier. After the concert, a reporter asked why he had gone through with it. Bob answered with words that would become part of history. The people who are trying to make this world worse aren't taking a day off. How can I? Nearly 50 years later, the identity of whoever planned the attack remains one of music's history's greatest unsolved mysteries.